Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, Neha, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
So,
Thank you so much.
how are you, Neha?
How are you, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. I'm good, ma'am. What about you, ma'am?
I'm absolutely fine, dear. Thank you so much. Neha, I think we are meeting for the first time. Is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
so?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I would be briefly introducing myself and then you will tell something about yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. I'm Sarita Ori, associated with the field of teaching for the last 20 years. I have taught in residential as well as day schools. Later on, I taught IELTS students for 4 years. Now I'm with EnglishYaari, and I have helped so many students to become fluent in their day to day conversation and on the stage, how to speak fluently. I shall try to come to your expectations. So, before we proceed further, Neha, I would like you to introduce yourself to me.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. As you know, my name is Neha Sharma. I am from Haryana, and I'm a homemaker. I'm a mother of a kid and an English language learner. Apart from it, like if I talk about my profession, so I'm a teacher in a school, in a private school. So I teach English language, and these days I'm on sabbatical. Very soon, from the next session, I will restart my job. And apart from it, I'm a YouTuber also, not a big YouTuber, but a small YouTuber. So it has been more than 3 months, and where I upload conversational videos and some grammar topics. So yes, ma'am, this is all about me.
Yes, well described. Fantastic. Neha, as you said that you are a teacher, what type of a job is this? Does it give a lot of satisfaction, or you have become a teacher accidentally?
Actually, ma'am, teaching has always been fascinating for me. But I would say that after my graduation, I started preparing for banking examination. So I devoted my maximum years to that preparation. But just because of lacking a few points and marks, I couldn't get my dream job. So I thought that I should pursue my teaching passion because before my marriage also I used to teach in a school. So I then I did my B.Ed and then I thought that teaching would be good for me. Then I started my career in teaching, ma'am.
Perfect. How to manage the classes in our schools, as was my experience, mostly the number is 30 to 40. Sometimes it crosses 40 even. So, do you think that it becomes really a difficult job to give individual attention to each and every student?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah. And like teachers are meant to give proper attention on each and every child. And I would say that uh, every person, like there shouldn't be any expectation from the teachers that from the very first beginning, the teacher should give proper attention and should be attentive and should be 100% in his profession or in her profession because ma'am I strongly believe that some things we get from studies and something we understand and we learn from our experience. So I would say that paying proper attention on each and every student and making them understand the concept and understanding their psychology and finding out the different ways of making them understand, all these things can be learned by experiences, ma'am.
Yeah, amazing. Very good. What prompted you to join the fluency classes?
Yes, ma'am. When I started my journey of learning English, ma'am, then I joined. First of all, I started my journey from YouTube channel. I started scrolling and watching different kind of content related to grammar, sometimes conversation videos. Then, ma'am, gradually I started stepping ahead, and I came to know that what are my loopholes, where I am lacking. So sometimes I found myself underconfident while talking to the people on audio call, even on audio call. Then I started doing practice on audio call. Then I thought that now I have some limitations, I have some problem in grammar also, in making advanced structures. Then I worked on it. Now later on I came to know that I'm not much confident in speaking with strangers, especially those people who are really very good at English and who are more knowledgeable than me. Because ultimately we have to go outside and we have to give interview, we have to face interview, we have to talk to those people who are really very experienced people. Then we feel that I'm inferior to them, they are more knowledgeable, I'm nothing in front of them. Then we start feeling underconfident, and it makes us fumbling and getting blank. So I was thinking that I should work on it. So this is the reason that I started having conversation with the people, with a tutor like you, ma'am, so that I can get rid of this problem.
Very good. How you manage
Yes, ma'am.
the not students in class?
Sorry, ma'am, what did you say, ma'am?
Yeah, there when we teach, all types of students are there in the class. Some of them are very mischievous, some of them are very obedient. How you manage the mischievous students?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is conspicuous, it is evident that if you are a teacher, so definitely you have to face different kind of students. Some are mischievous, some are studious. So, yes, ma'am, I would say that there is no one particular method of tackling with the student. We have to be creative and we have to understand what kind of student is he or she. So according to the nature and according to the what kind of disposition that student want, actually some student cannot be cannot be understood by only making them understand politely. And some students like we have to be strict, ma'am, sometimes we have to be strict. So it depends on the student to student, ma'am. So I would say that there is not any particular one method or trick to deal with any student. Yes, ma'am.
Neha, I attended so many workshops on modern psychology or modern methods of teaching. Generally, it was recommended that a student, if very mischievous and rowdy he is, the best way is give him the responsibility. For example, make him the monitor or ask him to collect the notebooks if he doesn't give the homework. So, how far this method can work?
Yes, yes, exactly, ma'am. Yeah, I do agree with you, ma'am, and I do agree with this statement, whatever you said to me. And actually, ma'am, I would not, I don't want to mention the clear incident, but I would like to share one incident with you. That
Yes.
yes, ma'am, there was a teacher, and she told me that this kid is very mischievous. He always keeps on doing mischievous activities. So what should I do? And I have completely fed up of him. So I told that teacher that, ma'am, why don't you do such kind of thing so that you can make that student engage in different activities, so that he does not get the time of doing mischievous activity. So yes, so when we give any responsibility to that kid, when we give different kind of activity, creative activity, then definitely we can make that mischievous, we can convert that mischievous kid into a very responsible kid. Because, ma'am, mischievous kids doesn't mean that they do not have brain, they do not have mind, they are not creative. Even they could be more creative than others, because there are like lots of fantasies are going on in their mind, and they just want to fulfill this. So that is why they are doing mischievous activities, ma'am. So yeah, it could be the best method to make them make them be a responsible person or responsible student, ma'am. Yes.
Fantastic. They have extra energy that needs to be
Yes.
channelized. So if
Yes,
we
even
put,
my son is like, even my son is like this, ma'am. He's so mischievous. He's full of energy. Always he's full of bins, and he always wants to play, doing mischievous activities. So yes, when I give him any responsible work, so anyhow I could manage. Yes, ma'am.
absolutely correct. Modern psychology says that a lecture method is completely obsolete. We must make our classes interactive. That's the reason that smart classes have come into being. The child's attention we have to get It's very difficult to listen to the teacher for 45 minutes. So, how we can make our classes interactive?
Yes, ma'am. So for making our classes interactive, we can use senses, ma'am. Generally, it is said that senses play a very important role in learning anything. When we use senses, it means visualization method, audio method, and even those methods in which students are doing anything, like they are practically engaged in the activity and they are learning anything. So these things can make the students interactive, and these things can make students be more attentive and be more interesting in learning anything, ma'am. Yeah,
Oh,
as per my knowledge, ma'am.
yes. The in thing nowadays is learning by doing. Science teacher will take the students inside the lab, and yes, they are learning, they are doing the experiments. History teacher or geography teacher may take them outside on some expedition where they can view the things and get information. But what
Yes.
the language teacher, English teacher will do to make them justify the quote, learning by doing? What we can do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, ma'am, definitely. Yeah, it is little bit challenging, but not impossible. We can connect language to our day-to-day life. For example, if there is a kid and I want to make that person understand, I want to make that kid understand uh, how to speak in English, then I can connect this language to the daily routine or daily routine sentences, that you should wish your mother, you should wish your father good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Then gradually we can connect. It is little bit tricky, but yes, ma'am, we can do this. So I would say that, ma'am, I have also taken classes. I have also taken online classes from my teacher. So I realized that my teacher um connected this language more to our practical life, and they made us do such kind of activities that are generally we do in our daily life. For example, let's suppose I was given the activity of talking to my friend. Your friend come to your home, and now you have to greet your friend, you have to welcome your friend, you offer some food and something else. So how would you say in English? So yes, ma'am, by doing this activity, we can do this, we can connect it with practical life, ma'am.
Right. Very good. It's said that when we were doing B.Ed in the psychology, one quotation used to be that the teacher should act like a joker. When I was in class, I put my firm foot down and got up to the psychology teacher. That's is it the only thing left for a teacher to become a joker? So the teacher was very wise. He smiled. Uh, what the answer he gave me, I'll come to that later on. But how true it is that the teacher should act like a joker in the class?
Okay, but it is completely new for me, ma'am. I haven't heard this quote, and even I
Okay.
haven't read this quote in my beard, in my
Okay.
course. I haven't read, ma'am.
Uh, yes, what the teacher or the book meant by this was that the teacher should not be standing on the lecture stand and just static and giving the lecture. She should come out of that. Uh, what they presented to us, that the teacher should act like a joker. On the last day, when we were about to finish our B.Ed, the retired principal of that college was given the invitation. When he came on the stage, he was completely haggard and emaciated man, and the boys started laughing. The man just asked that I need one traditional board, blackboard, and chalk. He taught us for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Neha, you won't believe that nobody even batted the eyelid. What the teacher did, the teacher did everything. He jumped on the stage, he walked on the stage, he hopped there, he sang songs, he whispered, he danced, he quoted examples from his personal life, from his surroundings, but he did not allow anybody to yawn. So that was teaching. And at that time, from a distance, my teacher smiled and asked me later on, "Is your question answered?" I said, "Yes." So, what we
Okay.
mean is that anything you may do in the class, but you have to get the attention of your students. Perhaps keeping in mind they wanted the gestures, the body language, everything teacher may do. I believe that the teacher's face is a big audiovisual aid. She can, with the expressions, she can get the attention of the students, and students' face how he responds, whether he gives a smile, or he nods, or cheerfulness, or it may be that he is yawning. So that means we need some improvement in our teaching. So let us come back to our session. Neha, in the beginning, you had said that you have joined the classes so that the structure should be advanced. So, what do you mean by the sentence structure should be advanced?
Yes, ma'am. Like when we use, ma'am, gerund participle, when we make the sentences shorten, when we make instead of saying anything in two sentences, when we speak these two sentences in a simple sentence, and we are using gerund participle, and we are using causative sentences. So yes, these are structured like advanced structures, and they seem to be very advanced, ma'am. It looks that a person has some sound knowledge of grammar. Yes.
Right. Same thing can be said in different manners. For example, I read the station, train had gone. A simple structure it is.
Hmm. Yes.
No sooner did I reach the station, the train had already gone. Now
Yes,
it
ma'am.
has become a complex sentence. So you are
Yes.
absolutely right. If we use the complex compound sentences, um, at that time, yes, we can make a mark on the listener. There is a very big role of passive voice. What do you understand by active and passive?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, active voice and passive voice, these are the like I would say active sentences are those sentences in which we deliberately mention subject, means doer of the action. And passive sentences are those sentences where there is no need of mentioning subject, or I would say that where we do not want to mention subject. For example, if I say that if I say that the thief was caught, so there is no need to mention who caught the thief. So it is conspicuous to everyone. It is evident to everyone that that the thief must have been caught by the police. So where we don't want to mention the subject, so where there in such kind of situation we use passive sentences. So sometimes it could be happen that in the mind of the students this question can be arise that why there is a need of passive, why there is a need of active. We already we have active sentences, why there is a need of passive. So we can tell them that in many situations where we do not want to, even we do not we are not, even we ourselves are not aware about the subject. For example, in the market, if I say that yesterday I went to the market and fruits were being distributed. So there is I am not aware who was distributing the fruits. So I can say that fruits were being distributed. So where there is no need of mentioning subject, so then we use passive sentences, ma'am.
Right, absolutely correct. We use the passive voice at that time also when we want to give more importance to the object. For example,
Yes.
I said, I am teaching Neha. Now I'm giving importance to myself. But there is no importance being given to my student who is more important. So at that time, I think passive voice will do the work. Neha is being taught by me. So
Yes, ma'am.
when object is to be stressed, we use the passive voice. So I
Yes,
always
ma'am.
recommend that when we are talking, give importance to the passive voice also. That brings beauty as well as variation to our language, and object is stressed as well, right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes I just realized that the fourth part of the tenses, that is present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous. Generally, students or even the speakers don't lay their hands upon that. What's the reason for that?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I think the reason is that we do not get the chance of using it more. Actually, I do not know the actual reason, ma'am, because I haven't thought like this that any tense is not important. I think every tense, every part of the tense is very, very important, because when you need to speak in that kind of sentence, who knows? Definitely, if you are speaking, so you cannot predict before that. No, this tense is not useful, and I will not pay so much attention. So yes, every tense is important, ma'am. Every
Right.
tense is important. Yes.
Right. Neha, that tense is generally used when time frame is given. And
Yes.
I always recommend that if you want the advanced structures, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous must be used. It brings variation as well as accuracy in our expression. For
Yes.
example,
Yes.
I have been teaching Neha for the last 20 minutes. Now, time frame is given, and I am telling in this manner. Mostly learners say I have taught for 20 minutes. So
Hmm.
that part is completely missing because I am still teaching you. When I'll wind
Yes.
up the class, then I can say that I had been teaching Neha for the last 30 minutes. So when
Yes.
time frame is given, because in the beginning your requirement was that I want to use the advanced structures. So
Hmm.
do start using this type of sentences. They really point towards advanced structures. Now, when we give just approximate time 20 minutes, then I say for the last 20 minutes. But if I'm giving specific time, I
Hmm.
have been teaching Neha since 5 o'clock. Now I
Yes.
have the specific time, then I will be using since. So
Yes, ma'am.
that type of structures you must use. That will certainly be based on the advanced level of teaching or speaking.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
coming to direct and indirect. From the direct speech to the indirect speech, how important it is. Being an English teacher, that will really help you to go to advancement.
Yes, yes. If I talk about myself, ma'am, so definitely I am feeling so much problem in implementing direct indirect knowledge in my speaking, because speaking in direct manner it is very easy, because if I say that my friend said I'm going to market, and if I say that my friend told me that she was going to market, so really like we are more comfortable in direct speech rather than indirect speech. So yes, I'm also facing this problem, ma'am. So yeah. So what, even I should also ask you that what should be the correct manner of implementing this direct to indirect, or
Neha, when we report something, that must be reported in indirect speech. Mostly in speaking, they say, I went to that he and I asked, what are you doing? That must be changed into indirect speech. Otherwise, sometimes miscommunication is there. There are rules for changing it. Pronoun has to be changed, tense has to
yes,
be changed, when
yes,
tense is not to be changed, and the hot potato is the interrogative sentence, how it has to be changed. Because in indirect, yeah, in indirect speech, the interrogative sentence has to be made in uh, uh, Indirect as well as simple sentence is
Simple
needed.
sentence. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, question mark is to be removed. So these are, they have their rules. Whenever you need, I will share my PDF that how we are going to change it. The interrogative sentences, the imperative sentences into indirect speech, because that's very, very important, and miscommunication sets in if we don't change it. Right?
Yes, 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 ma'am.
The other question which is lurking in your mind regarding the English language, you are free to ask me.
Yes. Ma'am, sometimes I feel that I'm good. Sometimes I feel that English is coming out of my mouth like a running water.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel that my tongue is tied by someone. So why it
Yes.
happens, ma'am?
What I have noticed, grammatically sentences are completely perfect. Your grammar is not going haywire. Yes, sometimes prepositions were wrongly placed. For example, as you had said that fed up of him. Uh, I fully don't remember, but yes, I am fed up with him, not of him. So that type
Okay.
of things are there. Neha, for prepositions, we don't have any rule because English is such a tricky language. We make rules, and at the next moment, we break the rules.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is just a practice, habit formation. With this, the things start falling on the right place. uh, One thing which you had expressed, that sometimes you feel that things are not coming spontaneously.
Yes, ma'am.
The reason is that sometimes vocabulary you are looking for a right word for that. For
Hmm.
this, I believe that more of reading has to be done. Leisure reading, any subject which is of your favorite, any book, uh, for example, you want to read books on teaching, you want to read short stories, you want to read, for example, you are interested in gardening, you want to read books on that. So that is the practice in reading. Slowly and gradually, those structures and vocabulary words uh, are restored in our mind. Mind is so sharp, it restores them in the memory lane. And when we speak, they come out like popcorns. At the time, we are surprised that how could I speak this? But mind has stored them. It's smart. Mind is, and it restores everything whatever we read. So a bit of reading you must do, so that when you are speaking you are not falling short of the vocabulary.
Yes.
As far as grammatical rules are concerned, you are absolutely familiar with that. Being English teacher, you have a command over English. Yes, vocabulary and sentence structures need more polishing. I don't say polishing is not done. You have already done. Since you want to go on the next stage of advancement, for this I'll recommend more of reading, more of listening, and more of speaking with us, so that we
Yes.
can take out if any nuances are missing, and we can guide you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yeah, I
anything
got it.
else? Yeah, anything else you want?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to know that is there any level of vocabulary that I should pick?
We don't have any level. Level is only in a mind. Spoken
Okay.
English needs to be simple. We never recommend that we should use jazzy words to impress others. If the other person is not
Mm-hmm.
familiar with this word, that means we
Mm-hmm.
would not communicate. And language is considered to be only a means of communication. We have taken it as a status symbol, but no, it's just a medium of expression. And if we cannot communicate in big words, then it
Yes.
has lost its meaning. The meaning is defeated. So there is no
Yes, ma'am.
need. Simple words, precise usage should be there. Sometimes
Mhm.
we use those words, but they are not befitting in that groove. The purpose is
Hmm.
to, when I
Okay.
say
Okay.
that I'm surprised, it's okay. I'm flabbergasted. There's no need for that. That these
Okay.
words are only for the authors. Yes,
Yes.
Salman Rushdie is writing. But do you know that Salman Rushdie is such a renowned writer, but still
Hmm.
hardly people can understand what he writes. It's so complicated. Once I got the book issued from the library of Salman Rushdie, you won't believe that I had to open the dictionary number of times. So where lies the enjoyment of reading? Shashi
Yes.
Tharoor.
Yes.
Four jazzy words are there. So I believe that English, while speaking, should be simple. Advanced structures, yes, very good. Vocabulary should be precise, and usage should be correct. There's no
Yes.
need that we have to go for very, very jazzy words, right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
No, ma'am. I'm so glad having talked to you. I'm so glad because I learned lots of things from you, and really I got mesmerized when you shared that thing that teacher should be like a joker or not. So really, I got inspired from that incident. Really, it was amazing, ma'am. Yes, and you
Yes.
asked lots of different questions related to grammar. So yes, ma'am. Even it boosted my
Mhm.
confidence. Yes. So thank you so much,
So,
ma'am.
with this, I am going to say goodbye to you. Hope to
Yes.
meet you again, Neha. Bye bye.
Yes, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.